Shalom, shalom wa ahaba, mishpachah, shalom wa ahaba. Peace and love, family, peace and love. I want to say shalom to the whole house of Yasharel, all 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, to wherever we've been driven to the lands of our captivity. I also want to say shalom to the sojourners, the Gentiles, and the foreigners, and all those who give thanks, honor, and praises to the Elohim, or God of the Bible, and his only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, to whom many of you refer to as Christ. Hallelujah. Mishpachah, today we're going to talk about collaborators. And before we go any further about collaborators, let's first do a word search on the word collaborator for many of us who may not know the exact meaning of the word. So when you type into your search engine collaborator definition, you will receive two definitions. The first definition is a person who works jointly on an activity or project, an associate, as in his collaborator on the book. The second one is the one that we're talking about today. It says collaborator, a person who cooperates traitorously with an enemy, a defector, as in he was a collaborator during the occupation. Mishpachah, most, if not all, of your so-called heroes or idols are collaborators. Yes, they are, whether directly or indirectly. They are working with the people that want to keep you in the powerless position that you are in, Mishpachah. And it's blatantly obvious when you just peel back the layers to the onion. And when you peel back the layers to the onion, you're going to have to laugh to keep from crying. Because we understand in the so-called black community that an institution like slavery would not have been able to exist in the South without collaborators. Those of our own people working with the so-called slave master class in order to keep that institution alive. We call them house niggas, mammies, bed wenches, bootlickers, and all other kinds of names that we have for that spirit and that kind of human being in our community. But it did not stop there, because after slavery, you had things that developed during the Jim Crow era, like the NAACP, who had the idea of the talented 10th. These were a bunch of collaborators that were going to be used in order to control the other 90% of black folks. You see what I'm saying? And this is the source of all your sororities, all your fraternities, and what people call the boule. You see what I'm saying? What I would call the collaborator class of our people, Mishpachah. Because when you get down to the nitty gritty and you look at especially, the politicians, you see, especially Democrats, how are you not going to be considered a collaborator when you promoting things like LGBTQ guacamole, lettuce, bacon, guacamole, cucumber, tomato, peanut butter, and every other type of sexual deviancy and debauchery that you're promoting to legalize in our community, but yet you are hush and you are mum, or you don't got nothing to say about protecting your people's religions. You standing at the back of the bus when it comes to protecting your people's synagogues and protecting your people's mosques and protecting your people's churches. You know what I'm saying? The religion and things that hold the family together. You all against that. But yeah, you're going to promote a movement like Black Lives Matter, which just destroyed the red, black, and green. I know if Marcus Garvey was alive, he would tell y'all, if y'all don't take the colors of my flag off that Black Lives Matter foolishness, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna sit back and push that upon our people. And that's something that promotes alternative lifestyles, which destroys the black family. So how can you not be considered a collaborator when you pushing policies and politics driven by people that you put in front of us that look like us, because so-called Negroes, so-called blacks, so-called African Americans, the Israelites and the Hebrews that were brought over here on them slave ships, they more comfortable with supporting their own. So you're going to go out here and put white supremacy in black face. Put these collaborators in front of us, and then when people tell the truth about them, they some kind of race traitor or something. You know what I'm saying? That's witchcraft, Mishpachah. You know what I mean? Your preachers sitting up in the pulpit that won't even tell you the truth about who you are, why you are where you are, and where you are intended to be. but yet they will promote the policies of people that's trying to keep you in poverty and then tell you to go out here, vote or die, and vote for people that still got you in the powerless situation that you are in. You know, how you gonna blame something on the Republican Party when can you find me a black community that's ran by the Republican Party? They all ran by Democrats, black Democrats at that. Collaborators, Mr. Car. Nobody's here to sit back and live in this fantasy world trying to sit back and think that we can sit back and point at everything and point at all the problems outside of our community and then not address the issues that we got within our community. Because until we start treating those collaborators like the enemies of the community that they are, nothing will change in our community. If you sitting back and you have rappers, you have entertainers, you have athletes, you have everybody that promotes a toxic culture to your people. You know what I mean? Not a wholesome culture that promotes the family, but they are promoting the culture that keeps you in poverty, the culture that keeps you at the bottom of the food chain. So if these people are willfully promoting a culture that keeps your children deaf, dumb, dysfunctional, demonized, and demonic, you see what I'm saying? Then how can you not consider these people collaborators with the enemy? But yeah, you want people to just go over there and talk about the enemy, but not talk about the people that's working with the enemy, which is borderline everybody that you see on TV, which is why if you out here really living and speaking for the truth, the last thing you should be trying to do is get famous and deal with these so-called famous people that are willfully selling your people up the river. You know, pretty much organized collaborators, spies, Mr. Bakar, double agents. You know, they come out amongst us within our community and pretend to be our friends, pretend to come to bring happiness to us. And at the same time, they are bringing in the policies and the people that are keeping you in the poverty-stricken situation that many of our people are in. Now, how you going to sit back and tell me that we got all these resources here in America? We got all these opportunities that sit right in front of us. Ain't nobody coming up and walking up on you and holding you down in your bed and telling you not to get up, get out and get something. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Nobody's holding us down as a people. We are holding ourselves down. So exactly how are we in the same situation we have been in? Economically, politically, you know, socio-economically since the 60s, if it ain't got nothing to do with collaborators. You know, if the collaborators are not collaborating with those that want to keep you in this position, those who are hiding in plain sight, then please explain to me why we have yet to pull ourselves out of this situation. Because we got a bunch of race hustlers out there that hustle hope to our people, want to sell a bunch of books and sell a bunch of lectures and sell a bunch of talking points to the people. But at the same time, behind closed doors, they working with the daggone people that's trying to keep you in the situation that you in, letting them know that we gonna control the situation. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear nothing about this old blackity black, pro blackity black nonsense that they got out here with this Black Lives Matter movement and all this other foolishness until you address the collaborators, until you start seeing them people that's up in the mainstream platforms. You know what I mean? The main ones that's up there hooping and hollering and telling you to go out here and vote for crazy folks like slow-mo Jim Crow Biden and all these other Democrats that's running our cities, including the one that I'm sitting in right now, ran by black Democrats, and it's the poorest city in the area. You know what I'm saying? In every area that you go to where black people are suffering, 9 out of 10 times it's going to be ran by Democrats, and more than likely they're going to be black Democrats. You understand that? So until we address the collaborators, you better stop talking about what these people doing to our people from across the street when you ain't dealing with the person that's living in the house that's calling the people across the street and telling them what's going on in the house. Until you deal with that, you talking nonsense and foolishness. And with that, Miss Pacama, go ahead and get out of here. And always remember to keep the fire burning. A little more oil in my lungs. Hallelujah, Mr. Picard. Keep your eyes open, stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared. And remember that your redemption is near. Until we meet again, Mr. Picard. Kumar, Yasharel, Kam Yasha'Allah, Raj Yisrael, Shalom, Shalom, Salama, Mr. Picard. Hallelujah.